Hi, nerf, sniff, sniff. Gotcha. You know some idiot's gonna try and reverse that, right? Oh yeah, welcome to the Oddity Archive, the show that rushes in where angels fear to tread. We're funny that way. We don't tackle many conspiracy theories around here, but this one seemed right up my alley. When I was a kid, there was this great conspiracy theory amongst some religious types that most, if not all, facets of popular music contained satanic messages if you were to play them backwards. Of course, the whole backwards subliminal message thing had already been going on for some 25 years by this point, but the difference was that in the 60s and 70s, the idea was usually to weed out, no pun intended, drug references. Or they could have just listened to the song's forwards. Hint, hint.
And then along comes Mary. Girl, we couldn't get much higher.
You don't have to love me yet, let's get high a while. And I felt like getting high.
Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Pass it over to me.
Series 1, offer R5.
Recently, I came across some of the old videotapes that used to be advertised and aired on religious TV stations on YouTube. Masochist that I am, I dutifully watched several of these videos. After a while... Okay, so I'm a little slow. I came to the conclusion that most of these quote-unquote messages were simply products of the listener's imagination. In other words, if I really wanted to, I think I could pick out evil messages in just about anything.
One more time.
After some further thought, I figured the only way to attack this subject was to try and perform some sort of quasi-science experiment. So here's the deal. I'd pick a random CD from my collection and place it in my CD player, which I have set to shuffle mode. I'd then take the selected track to the computer, rip and reverse it, and rinse and repeat 3 dozen times. From this, I've compiled a list of a dozen tracks with discernible words, to my ears anyway, your mileage may vary, when played backwards. The only rules were just common sense stuff like no instrumental pieces, can't use the same artist twice, etc. Otherwise, it's completely open. No genre rules, no nothing. I allowed myself 3 listens to each song to gather any impressions of words that I could get, regardless of any evil overtones. I then wrote them down and re-listened to any areas that caught my attention to make sure that I kept hearing those words. Then I unreversed the track and listened for its proper lyric. After the experiment, to try and avoid any overlap, I did a simple web search to find out whether or not anyone else had already analyzed my tracks. So, without further ado, here are a dozen highlights from my experiment. Number 1. Summer Wind by Frank Sinatra.
Sweethearts and the summer wind.
Sinatra is not a Satanist, just a business partner.
Sue Satan. Sue Satan.
That's right, I'm gonna sue that little red bastard for everything he's got, and I especially want those sweet horns. The proper full line is...
And guess who sighs his lullabies?
Number 2. All Apologies, Unplugged by Nirvana.
Should I be? All apologies.
Okay, this seems like a band that certain parties would believe to be satanic. Indeed, I found an existing conspiracy theory on this one, but none of their findings match mine, so here it is. Here's what I found. Of course, the coda, the most famous part of the song, would have to be an incomplete thought. The word buried backwards kinda sounds like heroin to me. Okay, knowing Kurt Cobain's fate, that is kinda creepy. But my personal favorite here is... which forwards is the infinitely less interesting. Number 3. Take Care the Road You Choose by Richard Thompson.
Take care of the road you choose.
I'm gonna give Richard the benefit of the doubt here and assume he means a cigarette for lunch, which he hopefully doesn't eat. The proper, complete line is just a wee bit more intelligent.
Not look out for ghosts behind me.
Number 4. One Good Night Deserves Another by Steve Wariner.
Good night doesn't mean it's over. One good night deserves another. Mr. Goofy, axe and the rock, ship it up. Mr. Goofy, axe and the rock, ship it up.
A pickaxe, perhaps? I always knew there were subliminal messages from satanic mineral prospecting cults in country music. Here's the real line.
Light every star in the sky if we're good to ourselves.
And they say rockers are hedonists. Number 5. Snoopy versus the Red Baron by the Royal Guardsmen.
20, 30, 40, 50 or more. The bloody red baron was rolling up the score. 80 men died trying to end that.
What could possibly be satanic about this beloved 1966 novelty record? Let's find out. Hey, I said I was just looking for discernible words, not necessarily ones that make sense. The real line is...
Snoopy fired once and it fired twice, and that bloody red baron went spinning out of sight.
Hey, wait, this is a kid's song, right? Number 6. She's So French by Benny Mardones.
She's so French, she's so French, she does that thing that makes me crazy.
Anybody with the same first name and last initial as yours truly can't be all bad, can they? Send for Seach. Is Seach some sort of slang? Is this song a plea for drugs? Man, I thought you were cool. Way to represent the Bens of the world, dude. Forwards, it's actually the song's title being repeated over and over. So that's kind of creepy in and of itself. Although, no matter what, this song sounds awesome backwards. Take that, metalheads! Number 7. Most Likely You Go Your Way and I'll Go Mine by Bob Dylan.
And time will tell who has fell and who's been left behind. When you go your way and I go mine.
You know, I can totally see some religious fanatic going off on old Bob.
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
Maybe they've got something here.
She said, "Look, I said," she said,
For words, it's...
Yes, I go last.
I also found...
Oh, Minnie.
I now have this mental image of Minnie Mouse with a Satan pin up in her bedroom. Okay, you win this round, religious nuts. Number 8. Light as a Feather by Redbone. The Vegas brothers were pioneers. What more can I say? Redbone was and remains the all-time biggest Native American rock group, regardless of whether or not you like Come and Get Your Love. The backwards message I got was probably the least cryptic one that I've been able to decipher. I know Nick, but he's a total jerk and a leech to boot. Believe me, you're better off not knowing him. Oh yeah, for words, the line is... In spite of the lack of messages, I think we can add this one to the cool and evil sounding when played backwards pile. Number 9. White Christmas by David Seville and the Chipmunks, but mainly David Seville.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
I could have gone either way with this. I mean, it's the Chipmunks. It could be either satanic and evil or charming and playful. What I got shocked me all right. I got a big wad of indifference. And take off, eh? The complete proper line is, everybody now.
And may all your Christmases be white.
But the most interesting thing about this one is that the orchestra sounds drunk off its ass. Number 10. I Need a Lover by Pat Benatar.
I need a lover that won't drive me crazy. Someone to thrill me and then go away. I need a lover that won't drive me crazy.
I walked into this one with no expectations whatsoever. So imagine my surprise when I heard this.
This shit makes it stop it, and it makes me feel what all live. This shit makes it stop it, and it makes me feel what all live.
Damn it, Pat! I guess I shouldn't blame the former Miss Andrzejewski for this one. John Mellencamp wrote this song. Oh, Johnny boy. Come here, Johnny boy. Yeah!
Now I'm not asking to be loved or be forgiven. I'm just shaking in his bed with one more night of love.
Number 11. Gypsy Queen by Van Morrison.
Dance on, Gypsy Queen. Yeah, it's all night. It's all right.
Given that Van already had a song called And It Stoned Me, I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise that I heard this. You know, I think the guy at the Cinnabon, or whatever it is you have over there in Ireland, had it in for you, Van. And I guess I better throw in the obvious joke here, too. So, did Van get rolling stoned?
You know it's all right. You know it's all right.
And finally, Escape, the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
All right, listen up, all you conspiracy theorists. That big badass Rupert is on this planet to relay messages to aliens.
It's an alien, let's go. It's an alien, let's go.
And as we all know, aliens speak backwards English, so it's only fitting that when played forwards, it's a hidden message for the aliens.
Right to me and escape. Right to me and escape.
Actually, Rupert was just playing with you. Later in the song, he openly taunts the conspiracy theorists with,
I'm sure you believe in that. I'm sure you believe in that.
"My dear Mr. Holmes, I'd buy you a Pina Colada for that one. But I know you hate the things." Come to think of it, I hate Pina Coladas too. So why in the hell do I like this song?
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Okay, like I said, I actually went through 36 CDs during this experiment, but there were lots of songs from which I got little or nothing. In spite of that, here's a quick look at some of this experiment's most notable failures. Number 1. I Believe, Sweet Lord Jesus by Dion. Yeah, the Runaround Sue guy.
He is the truth and life, I believe. Sweet Lord Jesus, I believe.
This is from a series of Christian albums he did during the 80s. I admit, part of me really wanted to hear something satanic on a Christian album, but outside of a few words including church and nativity, somehow I'm not surprised, I found nothing that fit into a phrase or sentence.
Church nativity, church nativity.
I also learned that the word church sounds the same forwards and backwards.
Church, 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 church.
Number 2. Trouble Again by Linda Ronstadt.
I never really was a bad girl, but you got me in trouble again.
I admittedly wanted to hear something satanic from Linda Ronstadt. I'm just weird that way. Now, I did hear a partial phrase on this one.
Hey, little version, hey, little version,
I'm sure somebody somewhere will read something into that.
got me in trouble again.
Number 3. My Impersonal Life by Three Dog Night.
Be still and know that everything's alright. Be sure and go when every step's is right.
Okay, quick personal story time here.
No!
I ruptured a vocal cord trying to sing this one when I was 16. I was a weird kid. Anyway, I couldn't find anything more than the odd syllable on this one. But having said that, this song, when played backwards, sounds like a Native American chant sung in Japanese.
Somewhere. Somewhere.
Number 4. Oklahoma Song by Hoyt Axton.
Red River water running deep in my blood. If the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, and it make me wanna laugh now.
Okay, this is the guy that sang about how he was gonna kill the pusher man with his Bible, his razor, and his gun, but also the guy who sang about his pet bullfrog, Jeremiah. Now, I couldn't decipher a damn thing here, but backwards, he definitely sounds possessed and kind of constipated.
Did one say? Let me ask my snips. They gonna.
Oh crap, I forgot the commercial. We'll be right back.
Here's a delicious laxative drink. Just mix it up to help fix you up so irregularity won't bother you. Fruit-flavored Seratan. What a delicious way to take a laxative when lack of bulk causes a problem. Taken daily, fruit-flavored Seratan powder just mixes with water to form the laxative bulk your system may be missing. Drink sunny fruit-flavored Seratan. Mix it up to help fix you up for gentle daily regularity. It's delicious.
Last one, Violin by Kate Bush. When I was growing up, Kate Bush was known as that crazy lady with the flower sticking out of her mouth who sang about running up a hill or something. As an adult, I think she's awesome. Now, I really wanted to get something out of this one. I even slowed down the playback hoping to find something, but I got nothing. Except another cool, evil-sounding soundbite. I love this woman. Okay, last order of business. I wanted to point out a certain pattern that I noticed from listening to way too many backwards songs. The word "and," especially when not well enunciated, seems to come out as the second syllable of the word Satan when reversed, meaning that virtually every song in the English language has a good chance of having something that sounds like Satan when played backwards, especially if the word "and" falls at the beginning of a line and is closely followed by an S sound. This is best exemplified in the Frank Sinatra clip that I played earlier.
Sue Satan. Sue Satan.
And now a quick backwards greatest hits. And that brings us to the end of another truly evil episode of the Oddity Archive. Join us next time when I suffer a rock and roll induced mental breakdown, don a judge's robe, and impersonate Stevie Nicks. It'll be fun.